I am t- I am 27 years old, and over the last many years, I have been forced to overcome a lot of adversity at different times. For example, when I was a few years old or so, I had septic hip, which is some weird health condition thing where there's like inflammation in your hips, and I got rid of that thankfully with antibiotics. Um, when I was little, I also fell on an oyster and got a scar that I think looks cool. It's I guess it doesn't really show up, but it's kind of around the wrist area or so. Um, I also stepped on a nail when I was younger, and it partially, or it almost went through my bone. I think it wasn't like, or it fell out of the shoe, but it could have been really bad. But I got a tetanus shot. Also, I guess I've been really unlucky when I was younger. Also, when I was around like I think it was like 15 or 16. I had both my feet reconstructed at the same time. Um, Apparently, I was born under a bad sign, which I think is a sign. Um, I also had a learning disability. Let's see what else. Um, I dropped out of college. Um, well, technically, I sort of went 2 years. I went back on the first day of the second year and ended up dropping out. Um, but thankfully, things have worked out, even though I wasn't able to finish college. Um, what else? Um, um, oh, I've also dealt with anxiety. I don't know how, which may be why I'm having trouble thinking out loud, but I've also been saying so much. I've also dealt with anxiety a bunch over the years, and that hasn't always been fun and or easy. But despite all these different forms of adversity, which haven't always been fun and or easy, and barely getting through high school, my grades were horrible. I finished with a 2.4. I could have studied harder, I suppose, but felt like a waste of time, and they didn't understand my learning disability. My learning disability happens to be NVLD, which is also called nonverbal learning disability, even though some people have said disorder, but I believe they go by disability now. And essentially, NVLD, it makes it, or one example of what makes NVLD difficult is it can make visual spatial tasks such as chess or geometry. I can never figure out geometry very difficult, especially, at least for me, my brain's evolved where I'm okay at chess now, but especially when I was younger, I had a lot of difficulty and or challenges trying to do visual spatial tasks. So that hasn't always been fun and or easy to do uh, visual spatial tasks. And another example of NVLD has been it can affect rigid thinking. So especially when I was younger, I had trouble seeing the quote unquote gray area. I'd be very black and white and rigid, concrete, whatever you want to call it, which obviously can cause major problems in life. Another example is that it can make it difficult to recognize body language. So if it's not subtle, I'm not bad at it. Like overall, I'm pretty good at it. But if it's super subtle, like a slight frown, I guess, for example, I don't know if that's the best example. It can be more tricky and or difficult to recognize because of the NVLD. And I believe NVLD, well, it doesn't affect everyone the same way because there are some people that are potentially more sensitive or reactive in terms of like to like I think like touch maybe or like stuff like that. But some people think NVLD is the same thing as autism. My understanding is that it's not, even though there are obviously similarities, such as the body language recognition stuff. And because most people or many people haven't heard of NVLD, it definitely makes it more difficult because people don't, especially when I was in school when I was younger, people didn't always understand why I couldn't understand the curriculum. I was never accused of being lazy, which is good, because I know some people with disabilities deal with that. But these are all examples of adversity, and despite these examples, overall my life is thankfully done really well. Um, and I'm continuing to grow and evolve and learn new skills.